when you're locked up, you're already down and out feeling in life. You just don't want to do anything. I was in there twice, and I met her the second time. And it's probably why I'm not back in there, is because I met her and she got me on the positive road.
It's taken me years to figure out how to describe to people what she does, because what really Patti is doing, she is really talking about how to be present.
You don't need to be entertaining people.
Okay.
In changing position. Just, you might be a whole minute like that.
Okay.
And so be it.
I love the idea. I'm in love with possibilities. I'm in love with the possibility that there are more possibilities. The possibilitarian spirit.
Well, she's got two names, Pushy Patti, we call her, and then there is the Patti Magic.
I remember Patti just being this like force from another world, and she was just like moving through the space in her Patti way.
She's crazy, and the reason why I say crazy is because I think she's a person who is comfortable with chaos.
I'm fighting against kind of windmills. I think, it's like a little like Quixote.
What intrigued me was her saying, I'm not fucking Mother Teresa.
I never thought this was going to become what it is now. No idea. It didn't occur to me. I just went to the facility to talk to the guys and okay, let's make, yeah. And then we kept building the whole thing up.
I didn't know anything about prisons, and so I wanted to go learn. And I asked around in the neighborhood, said, who knows about prisons? And people said, call Patti. And I did. And I went to see her show, and it was amazing. She was working with men. These men, just the level of engagement, the level of analysis of their political situation was so sophisticated that I just said to Patti, you have to come up and work with the Dartmouth students.
So I knew going into the class that we would be working with men in a jail and that we would be reading theory and things like that, and we were at the jail.
First thing we do is everyone grabs a bucket and 2 pieces of wood, and Patti runs us through this drumming exercise.
Every time you meet up, there would be a bombardment. So it's let's take feelings. How are you feeling?
That was really difficult because I had to meet people, young people, obviously, that I felt were born with silver spoons in their mouths. And I knew, because Patti had come to see us a couple times, I knew that we were going to have to talk about ourselves.
It'll go angry. Another person will say sad or depressed.
To complete total strangers, and I couldn't even talk to my own family about myself.
And it just comes around, and you start realizing that the students and the inmates, all the words are connecting.
I'm the type of person who can kind of talk for forever, and I'm not as good of a listener, and so in many ways the class kind of taught me to shut up.
Telling my story is just so unique, because you're lost all the way through the beginning, right until you get to the play.
The culminating point is this performance, and it's this self-written, self-performed skit pertaining to a big theme.
And then you realize how all of this came together, and it's just remarkable.
And that's the beginning of it, because that's when people start to understand. Big surprise. Yes, we are very, very different, and we have a lot in common.
What Patti has created has allowed me to find my voice. It has also allowed me to show up.
Where we were making the talking walls, which are the cardboard with graffiti that goes up as the backdrop of the performance. So we made them together, the students and the inmates.
The lesson is, how do I take responsibility? How do I see myself as a part of what I'm considering as broken out there in the world?
We were becoming friends with the men, and then we got to leave and they didn't.
She asked me a question how do you claim your own agency in this situation? How do you claim your own agency even as you're trying to belong to Dartmouth? In a way, I had sort of given that responsibility to the institution.
We just got in our car and went back to campus, and on campus people were engaging in pretty much all of the same behavior that ultimately put these men in jail.
I was blaming everything from outside of me, but Patti sort of pushed it and she pushes me to think about, okay, how am I involved? Like, what kind of responsibility am I taking for myself?
It has always bothered me. Inequality has always bothered me. And classism. I remember once with the maid, I said, okay, my parents are not here. Let's go and watch a movie. And then we would lie on my mom's bed and we would just sit there and let's watch the movie.
Patti isn't the person who's gonna come up to you and like tell you how to live your life or tell you what to do.
We would give students grades based on their performance in the classroom, which I would teach, and their performance in the facility, which Patti would oversee. Patti will grade you on attitude.
You know, she wasn't going to put up with BS. And it always came from a place of deep love of like, I see your power and I see why you're hurting and you're using this to feel better, and I'm gonna stick with you and push you to help you get to that other place.
And she will basically say in her accent, you have a bad attitude.
It's more just like her program is about her kind of a presence.
But she has figured out how to make like her values and how she wants to live her life, her work. And so she's just spreading that through her program. And it's all about just appreciating and loving everyone.
You know, society is very judgmental, and she was giving us this opportunity to voice what we've been through.
She felt she didn't have a voice. She said she didn't dare speak up when she was younger, and that it's taken her many, many years to really come into her own and have that confidence.
I was just profoundly insecure. Even now, I mean, I consider myself absolutely insecure. My insecurity gave me the conviction that everybody should have a platform for voice. Because I remember I looked really stupid to many people. Like I just wasn't eloquent enough. And that was very painful for me. Very, very painful. And I knew I had something to say. I knew.
Even though we're in jail, it doesn't mean that we're bad people. And it's going to give us a chance to show people
that I still am a great guy, and just because I made a mistake doesn't change how good of a person I am on the inside.
You know, for a few years I was, making the wrong choices, and like I'd lost family and friends. And I'm so sorry. It's been like 5 years and I still cry like it's yesterday, because it was such a horrible experience that I went through. And even though I caused it for myself, Patti just made me feel like I wasn't going to be that person anymore. And like I had a chance to make it better. And I did.
I don't know, it's different being a guy from a woman. Guys hold it in, women express it more. But she was able to get it out of the guys still.
She makes you open up feelings that I hadn't felt or remembered that I had in a really long time. Like that I could be loved and I could love.
Every time I finish the program, I drive back home alone with all my car like filled up with stuff. And I'm always like literally flying. I mean, like I'm feeling so good and so grateful. And I'm always crying. I always cry. So it's truly like this wings with tears, because there's something. Human beings should be precious.
The way she engages people, she engages every person like they're the most important person in the world.
I would go over to her house and she would just receive me and just be like, oh, Nell, and like just stop, like keep smiling and just want to hear what was going on. And like
she doesn't discriminate, like anyone that comes into her circle or like her space, she's gonna want to engage with them.
She gets like a giddy little girl kind of, and just there's no front of like, oh, this is how I'm presenting myself. She just would just be her whole self, and then it's like you can't help but just be yours.
Because we protect ourselves so much. We need to protect ourselves, because that's a way we can get the comfort that we have been taught to achieve or to have. If I understand you well, if I control the situation, if I can make a nice package, if I can frame you, and life is not like that. It's just not. It breathes and moves. every single minute.
She lets me be able to strive to keep going forwards and taking the right path instead of going back to the quick, easy, money-making life. I'm not really scared to say I'm a criminal. Yeah, I made a mistake twice. Third time's a charm. That's what I say, so I'm hoping it's staying like that, and I'm gonna thrive for it.
He's a quiet man in Western New York, searching just fine. Oh, Niagara, you got a funny way of playing with the mind. She's a fine girl, kind of grace you just don't find round here. She asked him for a cigarette, said she likes the way it feels behind her.